Have a seat, sir. Good evening. Call the meeting to order.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Allen? Mr. Allen?
She's the boss. Yes. Next item will be statement from our board vice president, Ms. Kelly.
As we begin this meeting, let us pause for a 60-second moment of silence to reflect, meditate, pray, or engage in other silent activity.
Thank you. Okay, next item will be the Pledge of Allegiance led by the Honorable Mr. Denton.
Please rise.
Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Before the next item, I want to thank those in attendance from the Leadership BA. From time to time, we have them come to our meetings and hope you enjoy. Next item, item 4, will be the adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item will be the board minutes, approval of the board minutes from September 11th. Any discussion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Abstain.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Abstain.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item, item number 6, Ms. Burns.
President Allen, members of the board, and Dr. Dunlop. This next Wednesday, something unusual will occur on the Bear Broken Arrow High School campus, just as it will across high school campuses all across the United States. Over 1,400 sophomore students will take the preliminary SAT test. So what does that have to do with awards and achievements tonight? Well, when we get the results of those tests back, we'll look and we'll see who scored the very highest on that test. We will encourage those students to take the test again in their junior year. And this time, it is not just the preliminary SAT, it's also the National Merit Scholarship qualifying test. Juniors across the United States who have scored well as sophomores take that test each year. And then we find out in the fall of the following year which seniors formed about the top 1% of students across the United States who took the test. And they are recognized as National Merit semifinalists. It is highly regarded across not just our country, but recognized throughout the world as one of the highest achievements that can be earned academically by high school students in the United States. And so it is my great honor as the principal of Broken Arrow High School tonight to be able to present to you 7 students from Broken Arrow High School who have been recognized this year as National Merit semifinalists. And they're so smart and so involved in different things that a couple of them, I think, are still involved in academic team tonight and may not have been able to make their way to join us yet. But those who are here, if you will come up whenever I call your name, and then I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit and ask you to introduce yourselves and tell what you are currently thinking about majoring in. Some of them haven't quite narrowed it down yet. Which college or colleges you are currently thinking about attending. And if you have any guests with you tonight, please ask them to rise and introduce them to the board as well, because all of this success, as much as we would love to take all the credit for it at Broken Arrow High School, the success that these young people have achieved started with their very first teachers, their parents in their homes, and then that success began to be built on in every school that they attended with every teacher who has touched their lives. I know that these students have certainly touched our lives and the life of Broken Arrow High School, and so I'm very proud to present them to you. So come on up whenever you hear your name. Mason Bishop, Hunter Janway, Eddie Lambert, Jacob Matke, Easton Moore, Darren Wynn, and Jake Wilcoxon.
You guys get to talk.
And if you guys will introduce yourselves and tell what you're thinking about studying, where you want to go, and introduce any guests you might have with you tonight. You can come up and do it in the mic.
All right, my name is Jacob Mackey. I got my parents over there. I'm thinking about majoring in professional writing at OU or TU.
And your parents' names are?
Paul and Sharon. Sorry, my parents are Paul and Sharon over there.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Hunter Janway. My parents are Tim and Michelle Janway, but they couldn't make it tonight. I'm thinking about majoring in biology and Spanish at either OU or Northwestern University.
Hi, I'm Mason Bishop. My parents and sister are over there, Claudia, Scott, and Lauren. And I'm thinking about double majoring in physics and applied mathematics at MIT, hopefully. So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Eddie Lambert. I am here with my dad, Ed Lambert, over there, and I'm interested in majoring in film production at the University of Southern California.
Well, as we say, you know, I think I have the best job in the world anyway. I know that I do on days that I get to recognize students like this. You make us very proud. And some of them I've gotten to know since they were in middle school when I got to be the principal there. So, you know, certainly go back a long way with some. So we're very, very proud of them and wish them luck as they continue on to try to become National Merit finalists. And remember, your paperwork is due on Wednesday. Thank you.
Didn't know if I was supposed to be over there or not. That's what I was going to say. You guys were supposed to make me look taller.
Get that guy going to Southern. One more for good luck, and watch that. Thank you all.
Congratulations.
Before we move on to the next item, I know we talked about this at the varsity club, but I do want to congratulate all the students in the 3 that aren't here this evening and their families. Having been an academic principal at the high school, I understand the time and effort and stress that goes into this, and what an accomplishment. And we're so excited to watch you and see what you do, not only in your collegiate career, but following that, you'll make Broken Arrow proud. So congratulations to all the families.
Next item, item number 7, Dr. Dunlop.
Oh, that's me.
You're up.
Okay, so this item basically is to accept some of our recent donations to the district. As we know, during these tough budget times, donations are how we're able to continue a lot of things that may have been cut in the last several years of continuous budget cuts to our state education budget, and then of course to the district budgets. So with this, we are asking the board to accept 3 donations. I believe, yeah, this is information only, so these will be on the consent item, our consent agenda, but I am going to summarize those because we want to recognize these donations. So first of all, we have Vandiver Elementary PTA has donated a refrigerator valued at $1,699 in the teacher's lounge. I believe theirs went kaput, so they needed a new one, and the PTA stepped up. We also have 2 donations of $7,500, each designated for the BA Basketball Classic Tournament in December, and a donation of $6,650 from the Band Parents Association. So those will all go toward the school, and we thank those organizations.
Any questions? All right, thank you. Next item, number 8, be comments from the public. We have none. Next item, item number 9, Mr. Blackburn.
Good evening, Dr. Dunlop, Board of Education. It's my pleasure to introduce you tonight Jaden Dykes, who, in conjunction with Synergistics, which is an energy management company, he's going to be bringing a report tonight in regards to his progress since February, and with this sole goal of reducing waste in regards to energy management for the district.
Thank you, Mr. Blackburn. Good evening. Again, my name is Jaden Dykes. I'm the energy specialist for Broken Arrow Public Schools. With me today is Sean Monroe. He's in the back. He's one of my consultants. We are both employed by Synergistic, which is we're both employed by Synergistic. He's just a traveling consultant, so he comes through occasionally, whereas I spend 100% of my time in Broken Arrow. Synergistic delivers a comprehensive behavioral-based energy conservation program that is backed by technology. We train our clients to optimize systems, schedules, and operating procedures, saving significant dollars. Many have wondered what an energy specialist is. Well, as an energy specialist, I look at every aspect of utility usage in the district, and I search for ways to save energy. The majority of my work is done when no one is in the schools, so I'm there at all hours of the day or night. I work hard to keep energy conservation a priority and focus throughout the district with staff and faculty. The best way to see if an energy program is successful is by measuring cost avoidance. Cost avoidance is the value of energy not used. The quick start period is the 6-month fee-free period between September 2016 and February of 2017. The energy specialist, myself, was hired in February of 2017. My performance year starts in March of 2017 and continues on February of 2018, but this data only goes through July of 2017 because that's all the bills that I have so far. The total energy savings so far is $128,279, and that's from September 2016 through July of 2017 again. And again, this is cost avoidance, which is the value of energy not used. This cost avoidance was calculated using a system called Energy Cap, which is the industry standard. It's been leading the industry standard for over 30 years. It's a sophisticated third-party software that takes into consideration changes and upgrades to the building, as well as price changes in utilities and weather changes. The Energy Star logo, you can kind of see at the bottom of the page here, is one of the most recognized logos in the world. Not only is our energy program saving precious money for the district, but it is also helping the environment. Each one of these represents the environmental impact that our energy program has had on the community. So it's one of these. So I don't know about you guys, but I'd like to see 47,000 new trees planted around Broken Arrow. It's already beautiful, but that would make it even more beautiful. On July 19th and 20th, PSO had 2 energy reduction events, resulting in an additional savings of $53,294.45. Officially, this will be presented to the district on November 2nd, but I have a check here for Dr. Dunlop and President Allen, if you'd.
2 L's in Allen.
Did I? Oh, I thought I missed.
Teasing. He's saying the checks to him.
Oh, gotcha.
Run a little low here. Did you get the middle?
Good luck at the drive-through. I would like to thank President Allen and the board, along with Dr. Dunlop and the entire BA school community. The support of the staff is wonderful and one of the best in the nation. So, any questions about the energy program?
So roughly the savings is about 170 to 180,000 total with the 52 from PSO, and then what you all have been able to save thus far?
The cost avoidance was 128 and some change. The fees for the PSO reduction have not been taken out. That's why I kept it separate. Okay. We're still calculating the fees on that.
Okay.
I'm curious, have you worked with Donna Grottel's environmental science classroom at all?
I did. One of my consultants that comes through is Paul Wilson, and he goes all over the state and collects owl pellets. And so I guess that was probably voted last month. But we donated a huge box of owl pellets. It was, I can't remember the value, but it was.
They're really expensive. You wouldn't
Yes.
think an owl pellet would be expensive, but they're very pricey, and we really appreciated that donation.
Yes. I'll pass that along to Paul. So thank you.
Owl pellets.
Any other questions?
Gotcha.
All right. Thank you.
Google that later.
I may have to. It's all about education.
Yeah. Next item, Mr. Tolomeo.
That's fascinating.
For the board, we tabled the construction report at the last meeting. We had some technical difficulties, so we're representing tonight.
It works. Good evening, President Allen, Dr. Dunlop, members of the board. Just going to go over last month's presentation with you guys. These are the projects that were completed by August 2017, and then these are the projects that are currently under construction. Out at Timber Ridge, this was completed August 1st. It has 34 classrooms, a media center, art and music rooms, and a gym which doubles as a safe room. In the whole school, we have these wayfindings. This is a picture of the orange wayfinding. You can see it travels from the main lobby all the way through the school, orange being one of my favorite colors. And then on the top left, it's a picture of an average classroom. This is the FEMA safe room. What this means is it's built to FEMA guidelines, and it will withstand 250 mile per hour wind. Right now, that's where the EF5s max out at. I know that scale changes year to year, so that's why it's rated to 250, not EF5. If that scale ever changes, we are covered. This is the media center. Like our other elementary schools that we've built in the past, it's located in the front, putting a focus on literacy. And as you can see, there's these little nooks where kids can go into and read, and then this long bench along those windows that overlook our property. Out at Sequoyah, this was completed August 10th, which is about 4 days before it was supposed to be completed, and teachers moved in August 10th. All of that sort of on the right side is all new. You can see how it compares to its rendering. We did a pretty good job constructing it. This is kind of just a model of what we've touched over the past few years at Sequoyah. This school is basically pretty new. The oldest part of it that hasn't been touched in the longest time is that red. That red is the 2009 bond issue, which we completed in 2014 at the site. And then the green was completed August of 2016. The orange was completed March of 2017. And then all the blue was completed August of 2017. So this is really a brand new school. We also, in the center, those areas that are white in between, those are 2 courtyards, secured courtyards. The one on the bottom of the page is a learning courtyard, and it has planter beds and risers so they can have outdoor classrooms. And the one on the top is an activities courtyard which they go into after lunch. And then really to show the impact of this construction, I've done a new and an old picture. On the bottom is the old cafeteria, then the top is the new. This is the new and old choir room. This is just the new orchestra room. They had never had one before, so this is all new to them. This is the old and new band room and the old and new drama black box. All those fine art spaces also were designed to FEMA 361, which make them a safe room as well. And then this is, we redid the whole front. We knocked down those trees that were hiding the school and planted new ones that were sized appropriately. And it looks pretty nice. This is the gym entry, new and old. And then the level 3 special needs classes. We did 3 of these with a gross motor room, and it's all designed for multi-handicap kids, so this is pretty nice. This is a new science classroom. Not new, it's a renovated science classroom. And then the media center. The media center again was brought to the front to put the focus on literacy. And this is what the media center looks like. And then we did a little Sequoyah Plaza. Fuel tanks, that is not a construction bond, but we did use construction funds out of the transportation allocations to do that. So this allows us to control when we get fuel. Before, there was an hour a week where we would have to buy fuel, and we could only receive fuel during that hour, or else we'd be sucking air. So this allows us to better control when we receive fuel, so we can actually, if it's about to spike, we can hold off, or there's a dip, we can call it in real quick. So this will help with cost savings. High school parking lot improvements. I am happy to say this is probably one project that has been a topic since I've come to this district, and probably when I was a kid. There are no potholes in that south parking lot. It has drainage. It has lights. It's nice. So you can no longer lose a Volkswagen Beetle anywhere. The high school addition, this project is still under construction. It's nearing completion. We should occupy it here by November 1st. It's 11 classrooms. 5 of them are lab style. 6 of them are normal science classrooms. We were able to address where's the front entry of the gym. We also tore off that whole patio that was falling off the building, And then we addressed some ADA issues as well. This is the hallway that's connecting. We're connecting more buildings where VPA is connected now to the field house. And then this is one of the science classrooms. And then we also have a need for additional serving lines for lunch. And so we got athletics and child nutrition together in one room. And we were able to figure out a way to make that space dual use. So they both gained quite a nice space that is going to be multifunctional from here on out. And then this is the field house. That's actually the renovated part of the field house lobby. And then this is a meeting room that can hold about 40 people. Right now they go out to the varsity training center and the varsity club and have a meeting in that varsity club. That varsity club holds about 120. And they use it for about 40, so this will be perfect for that. Baseball, softball entry is complete. And the Freshman Academy is underway. We started this project in May, so we're still in the early stages of construction. We are adding a net add of 11 classrooms. We are increasing circulation. If you ever go there in that building during passing periods, there's bottlenecks, and we sat down and met with them, and they were like, our top priority is being able to get kids through this building. And we've actually added 2 stairwells, which will help kids go up and down a little bit easier. We're also adding a teacher's lounge. Their teacher's lounge holds about 20 people. So our goal was to hold as many as we could. We hold about 45. So that's about, they have 2 lunches, they have about 100 staff, so that's about that 45 mark. This is a rendering of what the front entry will look like when we're complete. And we are also adding a new chrome desk. And there's a picture of the stairwell. And then looking out towards the north out the front doors. Right now we are almost complete setting the structural steel over the media center. And then that addition will open up in March. Then we'll move in, take over their existing media center, start the interior renovations, and all of it will be completed by August of next year. And this is a picture of the new sawtooth bus loop. It's actually so all the buses can go and park and go to the same spot every day, and then they can get out without having to back up. If you talk to Mr. McNabb, every time I see him, he tells me how wonderful this is. Kirkland Activities Complex. This is 2 turf fields. We are done with the gravel on the turf on both fields. We're working on the turf on the north field. We're working on the interior renovation of the auditorium. Again, these pictures are from last month, so we're a little bit further along than this. And here's the auditorium. The PAC project, this is the last project for the 2009 bond issue, and then we can close that one out. We have some interior renovations that have all been complete, and we moved into those September 15th. And then we have the left picture is that addition. It's 1 giant room or up to 7 different spaces. And here's a rendering of the box office. Obviously that's complete now. And the front receptionist. And then here's the addition. So now for my good news. With these additions and with the bond dollars, we qualify for certain PSO rebates as well. These PSO rebates only apply to new additions. They do not offer them for interior renovations. So with that, we only qualified at these 3 sites, Timber Ridge, Sequoyah, and the high school. We applied for 5 rebates, or 6 rebates. We received 5, 3 for HVAC, 2 for lighting. It all depends on how energy efficient you spec your building. And we are receiving $75,676 back to the district. And really that's because of our bond issue and our patrons that we're able to do this. And even though we're paying for it with bond fund, it's coming to us as a district. So it's kind of like free money, and I do have a check too. I don't want anybody to feel left out. So I'm going to present this to you guys as well. No one's going to feel short around me though. So.
Oh, I think I still will.
That was a one-take wonder, but I would let me say something,
I would certainly like to make a few comments, Ms. Bergwall, to you and certainly all the staff members that make this possible. I do know we do extend those bond initiatives out to our public, and our public has been instrumental in the improvement since 2009. But the beauty of it is that we are seeing greater equity across the district, which is vital. And I have received a lot of very good comments from our community as it relates to the look economically and those that are wanting to come into our community now to do business. So I think this bodes well for us from a public perspective, and certainly it speaks well to our schools too, because we're seeing that continuous growth. So all of this is part of that, and I just want to extend my thanks to each of you who make that possible.
Thank you.
Mr. Ptolemy, I got one question. On those rebates, is that a one-time deal, or would that be an annually type of rebate from PSO potentially?
Well, we as a district, we choose energy efficient equipment, so that energy savings because of the equipment we choose is an annual thing, but this is a one-time rebate when we install the equipment.
Thank you. Okay, next item, number 11, Ms. Tiger.
This ought to be short and sweet.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Probably not loud.
I apologize, I do not have a check. It's very hard to follow two people who get off a lot of money, and I get to talk about legislative affairs. No, we don't. I had hopes whenever we put this on the agenda to have some sort of news, but after 2 weeks of special session, we are in recess with nothing have been voted on or done at this point.
I guess we could take a picture of the back of the check and say, this is what our legislators are.
We could. We definitely could. As you know, the special session was called initially the $215 million shortfall and an already inadequate budget due to the unconstitutionality of the cigarette fee. Early on, Representative Inman had been put out what he was deeming as a bipartisan fix to the problem with our budget, but Governor Fallon called a press conference and kind of dispelled that and said that that was a premature claim, that that budget was going to be agreed and voted upon. No other budget has come forward for the public to see, so we are most definitely at a hold and wait pattern as far as our own budget and the possibility of teacher raises, because although they're committed to that, again, there's no source of revenue tied to that bill. Oddly enough, there are 2 school consolidation bills up during special session, which I found bizarre, but one of them is House Bill 1065 from Representative Cleveland from Norman. He's wanting to create a list of all schools with ADMs of less than 1,000, which would be 395 school districts, to possibly give that list to the State Department of Education to deem if their central services should be consolidated with other districts. The other bill is Senate Bill 9 by Senator Stephanie Bice of Oklahoma City. She would like it to be mandatory if you have an ADM under 200 that you would have to consolidate with your neighboring district, and you could not have any central office staff. You could keep principals, but you could keep the school open, but you could not have any central office administrators. So hopefully we'll go back into session and something will be done. On a positive note, we have created a legislative affairs site within our website for parents that is now live. It went live today. That'll make it a lot easier for parents and community members to track and follow education bills and budget items if they'd like to.
Ms. Tiger, I did read, I believe, that the legislators were in discussions of giving themselves a raise, though. So you may check into that.
We can hold up the check again.
That was one thing they were able to work towards during this special
Yeah.
session, so I had read that, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item will be the consent agenda, items 12 through 68.
Move approval.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes. Next item will be item 69. Ms. Tiger.
I didn't realize I would have stayed. This actually is extremely exciting for us. So last year we started discussing our support pay scale and keeping up with surrounding districts and the state and really being able to be competitive with recruiting talent for all of our support positions. And as we examine that, every year we try to do the 1.5%, but with our support scale that has gotten us followed a little bit behind some of our neighboring districts for some positions. So we went through a process in human resources of deciphering what specific roles were most job declined, most turnover, most in need of really needing to look at specifically. What kept coming up over and over, Mr. Stecker was a big part of this process, along with Adrian Stout, is clerical. We had a lot of jobs declined over clerical pay and being not competitive with neighboring districts. So for year one, we went through and identified all clerical positions, and we're bringing to the board tonight to move the titles of all clerical positions up on the pay scale index. We will do this every year with a different group. We obviously can't afford to move everyone in 1 year. So we're going to break it down into sections, with clerical being year one, direct classroom support being year two. That would be teacher aides, paras, any support position that works directly in the classroom with students, we will bring to you next year. In order to do this, the raises would range from anywhere from 27 cents to $1.30. It's not astronomical, but it's definitely a step in the right direction to let our support and our clerical staff and all of our sites and our buildings know that we're doing everything we can to be competitive with our neighboring districts, and we would ask that the new index scale be approved.
Ms. Tiger, I would like to echo the fact that we do need to have a process in place where periodically ongoing we are evaluating all of our areas, because that's the thoughtful thing to do. So
Yes.
I certainly appreciate your comments.
Yep. Thank you.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve?
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, item number 70. Ms. Dolhan.
Good evening, President Allen, Dr. Dunlop, members of the board. I'm here to give you the monthly financial reports. Ms. Enith is not here tonight, so bear with me on these reports. Our general fund revenue, our current state aid allocation is $45,849,299 with a per pupil funding, that's hard to say, of $3,042.40. Our ad valorem collections that you see are just back taxes so far. We will get our big ad valorem payment in the month of January. Our state sources are just flex benefit payments from the state. No other allocations have been received yet. Federal claims are down a little bit just because of the timing of the claims sent to the State Department. In building fund, ad valorem is our primary source of revenue. Again, those are just back taxes that you see on the building fund revenue. The local revenue is up from last year due to some one club donations for the building fund. In the Child Nutrition Fund, we're basically on track from last year's local collections. This is a self-sufficient fund, so we're pretty much on track in child nutrition. In the general fund expenditures, they're pretty much on track as last year. We will be expecting, higher expenses due to Timber Ridge opening with their staff benefits and supplies coming in. Our building fund expenditures in Series 300, it's up because of a payment to Synergistic, which, earlier says it is a big cost savings for the district. The 400 series is up a little bit due to some additional payments for Country Lane intermediate windows and ceiling, and also the Spring Creek walking track. The child nutrition expenditures are up just basically due to the extra staff at Timber Ridge and additional purchase of food and commodities for child nutrition. And our fund balance is now $10,476,144. Any questions?
Thank you. Next item.
Next item is the activity funds for the month end of September. Receipts total $2,088,000. Expenditures total $1,294,000, leaving a balance in the activity funds of $3,560,000.
Okay.
I'll go on to the treasurer's report. At the end of September, the cash balances report shows a total of $35,527,000 in assets. Included in this figure are investments that total $25,690,000. Our fund security and deposit report shows a total of $31,025,000 in collateral pledged to the district. Our deposits that require collateral total $22,042,000, leaving an available balance of collateral to the district of $10,539,000.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Next item, 73, Ms. Metavalis.
Good evening. My first item tonight are the encumbrance reports effective September 7th through October 4th, totaling $920,385.49, and I would recommend approval of those encumbrance orders.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Okay, thank you. Next item, 74.
Next item are the change order reports for the same period of time, September 7th through October 4th. This time we are reflecting an increase of $5,812.82. That was largely due to a need to increase the purchase order to the Tulsa County Treasurer for our annual reval fees.
Any questions?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, 75, new business. We have none. Next item is going to be the executive session. But before we go to the executive session, just personally for myself, I want to, it's been a tough couple of weeks here in Broken Arrow. And I want to thank Dr. Dunlop, Mr. Perry, Ms. Brassfield, and others in the leadership, Mr. Hanema, for your leadership and help lead our district through these difficult times. You did a wonderful job, and it was very tough, but I wanted to thank you because it took a lot to do what you all did, and just did an outstanding job, and I just want to thank you all for what you did.
Thank you.
Second that.
Next item, executive session, item 76.
Move to go into executive session.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes. Thank you.